Oh shit, somebody shot that. Somebody coming, start moving, somebody coming, boy, somebody coming. Bro, these kids not even good. They stole your scar too. How you gonna let them steal your scar like that? See, I was stuttering mad hard.
Practicing the skills as much as possible, but it looked pretty convincing. He was jumping up and down, laughing, trying to make the fetus move. I retched and vomited in the trash can beside my computer. DG then pulls out the biggest knife.
No, I'm watching a video.
He appears to put the blade on a sharpener. The metallic screech made every hair on my body stand up. Sparks spray everywhere like one of those 4th of July sparklers I held in my hand as a child.
That should do it, nice and sharp. Creating a new skin for a player requires a sharp knife. If you're going to do something, do it right. That is what my father used to say.
DG walks over to the squirming man and proceeds to cut at the top of his forehead at the hairline. Jeff's eyes started bulging out of his head as crimson streams poured down his pale white face. The ball gag pops out of his mouth and he screams in agony as DG peels the skin off his face. After the face is peeled off, DG placed it over his face and sticks it.
OG.
The faceless man began to convulse. He responded,
Mike, I figured there was a pretty high possibility you might say that. Here's the situation, my friend.
We want to go.
Finish up with our friend Jeff here in a bit. What that means is that I need another guy for the next player that wants to nail skin. I have located and sent some of my associates to get my next skin. You actually know this guy. His name is Brad.
My stomach dropped. Brad? No, it couldn't be.
Actually, it can, Mike. Isn't your brother named Brad? Brad Anderson? He lives in Wilmington. He has a nice little apartment with his girlfriend. He works Monday through Friday at the local Best Buy a couple miles down the street. 10-7, I think.
Don't die. Don't die.
Everything he was saying was true. It was my brother. I grabbed my cell phone and began to dial his number. I had a video message from Brad waiting for me. My brother had duct tape on his mouth and had been beaten. His left eye was swollen shut and his nose was bloody. My phone fell to the floor and I dropped to my knees. I was sobbing and I vomited again. What do you want from me? What do I need to do? He answered.
Mike, can you send a message back to Brad for me?
What do you want me to say?
Tell him goodbye.
Then the video went to static. Ghost in the Fort by Reddit user, the FNAF Maniac. Before I start telling you my story, I want you to know that I'm aware of how fake this will sound. But even if it's futile to try and convince you to believe, I will still say it. This story is real, and my friend knows this firsthand. My name is Anthony, and I'm from Athens, Greece. 2 weeks ago, at the 21st of August, a huge power failure at the electricity plant in Pauline created a mess on a job at the moment. When she came, she was sobbing very hard. I was just numb.
Dang.
Too shocked to properly react. Chris stayed in the ER overnight and passed away early in the morning the next day. The electric surge had popped his earphones and fried his brain. The next day at his funeral, I was just still too numb. I could feel the sorrow, the pain, but the tears just wouldn't come. The next days I was a mess. I was barely eating and speaking, only laying in bed and staring at nothing. My parents tried to do anything to cheer me up, even giving me money to go to the internet cafe Chris and I used to go to, which was something we did when we could pay, not our parents. Yesterday my parents managed to get me to go. I was still numb, but at least I'd do something else than just stare at infinity. There I met a few other of our common friends, and all of us exchanged some awkward words with each other. Slightly touching the matter, all of us were crashed by Chris's death. Soon after, I sat on the computer and booted up Fortnite. The first few games were
You said what?
usual, ignoring the fact that I was moping around, not really getting kills. But that started changing an hour or so in. At random times, I would hear a bullet zip by my character's head or body.
I put it to private.
Who I was battling with, either knocking him or leading the last hit for me, with a few missed shots. I didn't pay much attention to it at first since I was in 50s, and many players were around me at the time, both close and far away. But once I went into solo...
Who was watching my stream?
On one occasion, I managed to get a glimpse of the guy, but he was under the shade of a tree at the edge of the Wailing Woods, over 200 feet away, so the scope's image was...
I got one comment.
At that point, I figured the guy must have been trying to kill me while
Hey man, I was...
So I did my best to shoot him and let him know I meant business and scare him away.
Bruh, my question is, why do people come in my stream and to say use their supported creator
That's exactly what
code?
the guy did. But that's not the weird thing. I mean, sure, if you time it right, you can do that. There's even a video with the Viking guy doing it, and I shot him with the heavy sniper, which has a slow bullet travel time. But it looked a bit too perfect. So I jumped out to go and take down the guy in front of me with the double barrel, before going for the guy in the trees, but when I looked back, he was gone. I really didn't have much time to think of it as the storm was approaching, so I just left and ran to the Tomato Temple. After that, the game ended pretty quickly with me in third place. Seeing that I had about 15 minutes left until I had
Chill.
I decided to get in a 50s game before going. The start of the game went normally, with me and a few others landing on Tilted, which was on the enemy side. But suddenly the enemy count started dropping really fast, and it was here in Tilted, despite us being like 6 guys and another 20 or so on the other team. When I got out of the building I was in, all I saw was my teammates down, asking me to revive them, and scattered everywhere as far as the eye could see in the square. I revived the guys and asked one of them, which was a squad mate of mine, what happened. He said that they were swarmed and knocked down when a guy from our team started sniping at them. All of them.
Let me get a gun.
Stumped. I mean, 20 guys. Not even Ninja could pull off something like that. No, about half of them. The rest were on a big ramp up high, and he destroyed it, he told me while healing. Dude was pretty good, but then he just left us and went away. By that point, I was sure something was very wrong. Just how many pros had I met in these 2 hours I was there? And now a guy who could go 1v20. After that, the game was pretty much one-sided, and within 4 minutes, we were 17 guys.
What his name is then? Oh, do his name start with a 2? Is it 2 spooks for you? Yep, that's what I'm watching.
That's from our team against one.
Do he play
We're
Fortnite?
searching around the remaining map, which was getting smaller and smaller. I went to the border of the circle and started checking along the line, when suddenly the remaining guy shot me with a shotgun from a branch above me. Turning up, I shot him once, ruining his shield and some of his health, before he knocked me down. I started crawling away as he jumped down, reloading his shotgun. I had pretty much given up when suddenly someone from my team glided in through an impulse at the enemy's feet, throwing him out of the circle and into the storm. After that, he built a wall between us and the guy in the storm and started reviving me.
You know who Sticky Picky is?
He had the raven skin on, and I felt pretty weird looking at his face as he revived me. The raven skin was the only one Chris had ever bought. Anything else he had won it, and this reminded me of the times we played together. Soon after I was up, and he dropped me a slurp and a rocket launcher along with a rocket. One rocket. Confused, I stood there, and he turned around jaw dropped when I saw the engine backpack on the side. For those who don't know, back in April, Epic offered a free rare generator-like backpack in an item shop for 6 days, as a payback for an instability issue, and Chris always wore it along with the Raven skin. "I'm the Reaper engine," he'd say whenever someone asked him in-game why he had that on. The Raven stopped and turned a bit to look at me, a rift to go on his left hand, raised his right hand and tipped the rim of his hood before using the portal. But the thing is, the sound of the rift opening never came. I didn't know what to think when the sound of the enemy's players
I got a scar.
snapped me back up to reality. Mechanically, I took out the rocket launcher and shot at the feet of the guy as he rounded the corner of the wall, killing him instantly. Of course, I won the game, but I didn't feel like it at all. After that, I logged off and just went home. Last night, I didn't manage to sleep much. After thinking about it, and I mean thinking about it a lot, I came up with those 3 theories. 1, Chris's ghost possessed the game. 2,
Oh, his friend came behind me.
his mind was uploaded to the game like in that movie with Johnny Depp. And 3, someone hacked into his account
Yeah.
and coincidentally played with me. I really don't know what I'm supposed to do or feel at this point. I mean, I'm a bit happy to see him again, but to his account, it rounded the corner. I didn't raise his right hand and tipped the rim of his hood before using the portal. Issue. For those who don't know, back in April, Epic offered a free rare generator-like backpack in an item shop for 6 days, as a payback for an instability issue, and Chris always wore it along with the Raven skin. "I'm the Reaper engine," he'd say whenever someone asked him in-game why he had that on. The Raven stopped and turned a bit to look at me, a rift to go on his left hand, raised his right hand and tipped the rim of his hood before using the portal. But the thing is, the sound of the rift opening never came. I didn't know what to think when the sound of the enemy's player's footsteps snapped me back up to reality. Mechanically, I took out the rocket launcher and shot at the feet of the guy as he rounded the corner of the wall, killing him instantly. Of course, I won the game, but I didn't feel like it at all. After that, I logged off and just went home. Last night, I didn't manage to sleep much. After thinking about it, and I've been thinking about it a lot,
Is people?
I came up with those 3 theories. 1, Chris's ghost possessed the game. 2, he died, but somehow his mind was uploaded to the game like in that movie with Johnny Depp. And 3, someone hacked into
My
his account
PlayStation.
and coincidentally...
Wait, what do you mean?
I really don't know what I'm supposed to do or feel at this point.
I set Maz up on my phone.
Again, but God, I'm also afraid. What if it's not him? I really don't know what I'm supposed to do or feel at this point. I mean, I'm a bit happy to see him again. God, I'm also coincidentally.
Thank you. Now I get to watch YouTube.
I really don't know what I'm supposed to do or feel at this point. I mean, I'm a bit happy to see him again, but God, I'm also afraid. What if it's not him? I really don't know what I'm supposed to do or feel at this point. I mean, I'm a bit happy to see him again, but to his account and dispossessed the game, I didn't manage to sleep much. Of course, I won the game, but I didn't feel like it at all. After that, I logged off and just went home. Last night, I didn't manage to sleep much. After thinking about it, and I mean thinking about it a lot, I came up with those 3 theories. 1, Chris's ghost possessed the game. 2, he died, but somehow his mind was uploaded to the game, like in that movie with Johnny Depp. And 3, someone hacked into his account and coincidentally played with me. I really don't know what I'm supposed to do or feel at this point. I mean, I'm a bit happy to see him again, but God, I'm also afraid. What if it's not him? What if I went crazy and I'm seeing things that aren't there? But worst of all, now that Chris is in there, what will he do? The Discord Imposter by Reddit user Allegro. This is a 100% true story that I need to get out there because I need help to decipher what the hell happened. Last night, the night of September 1st, I was playing Fortnite with my good friend Ezekiel, a guy I've known for a few years now. Around the end of our session, I'm going to say around 11:30, our mics started not working while in game, so we decided to stop playing and go on Discord and just talk about whatever comes up. We started the call and immediately started to talk about video games. The last thing I remember we talked about was that Nintendo 3DS was going to get a PUBG port, which we all laughed about. On my side, the call disconnected, basically as if he hung up on me. I called him again twice, but he never answered, so I figured he went to sleep or didn't want to talk anymore. I went about my night and watched some videos on YouTube. In the morning, around maybe 12:10 a.m., he sent me these texts. We called again on Discord, and he told me that he had been talking to me for the past half hour about video games, specifically Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Cyberpunk 2077, and Watch Dogs 3. He told me that they had an in-depth conversation about these games with the imposter, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, sent me these texts. Called again on Discord, and he told me that he had been talking to me for the past half hour about video games, specifically Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Cyberpunk 2077, and Watch Dogs 3. He told me that they had an in-depth conversation
in your
about these
face.
games with the imposter, which is what I'll be referring to him as. I told him that it wasn't me talking to him, that the call had disconnected for me 10 minutes into the conversations. He thinks I'm playing around with him, but I swear on my mother that I'm not. And to confirm that I'm not lying, he asked if I had finished watching the Cyberpunk 2077 48-minute gameplay footage, as this is what him and the imposter were talking about.
Alright.
I tell him I never got around to finishing the whole thing and only got through the first few minutes.
Alright, bro. See you later.
Then, out of nowhere, the call disconnects again. I message him.
Oh no.